The Department of Veterans Affairs suggests suicides among military veterans amount to 20 every day, some 22% higher than adults who haven't served. The stats are a couple of years old, but VA leaders continue to call suicide prevention a top priority. Tonight, an East Tennessee woman who lost her husband to suicide is hoping to help other military families avoid her pain.
Just a lot of good memories.
Fun adventures fill a photo book capturing the first few years Emily Hager shared with son Jackson and husband Kevin.
And he was a huge surfer. And he would wake up at like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning to go surfing at a certain spot to catch the certain waves. And that was like his peaceful spot. He was always at peace out there.
At the time, it sounded like it was a pretty happy beginning for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had a great life. We were both in the military at the same time.
Both served in the Navy, but the smiles from Kevin hit a darkness Emily says could wash over her husband.
There were definitely times when he would communicate that he was, having a hard time, or the things were difficult for him, but he never went into detail with it, ever. The only time that I know of that he got relief was when he did see a therapist, and he was able to talk about what was actually going on in him, because he had one in Hawaii, and we moved back here. He didn't want to start over. One of the hardest things to do with therapy is to start over with somebody new and have to tell the whole thing all over again.
3 years ago, Kevin took his own life.
It was a very traumatic experience for me.
How have you talked to your son about his father?
Well, at first, the only thing that I could think of was to tell him that he had gone fishing, because Kevin used to fish all the time.
Anger, pain, and sadness filled the first few months of her grief.
I believe in God now. I didn't then, but I do now, and that's really the only way that I could have been restored.
Emily's testimony at church touched one veteran named Freddie Owens. The longtime activist encouraged her to share warning signs to watch for in an effort to help fellow military families.
One thing that really sticks out to me about what I know now as compared to what I didn't know at the time was he would start to try to get rid of his stuff. At one point, he gave my father one of his rifles, which was kind of like his pride and joy. We find that a lot of veterans that commit suicide are typically isolated. They've isolated themselves in one way or the other. The best thing you can do is ask somebody if they're thinking about suicide. I want to spread that message. I want people to know that we live in a community of people that really care.
You've shared your story with more and more people.
Yes. Well, and that does two things for me. One, it helps other people know that they're not the only ones experiencing what they've experienced, and it also helps me. The more that I talk to somebody and share what has happened to me and can maybe give them hope, that's the most peace that I'll get, is giving other people hope.
Now 6 years old, her son Jackson will sometimes sleep holding these photos of his dad. His father's funeral flag sits at the foot of his bed.
He does understand that, his daddy has died and is in heaven, and he's grateful for that.
Emily has since remarried and serves as co-chair of the Knoxville Regional Health Council. We have a link to resources for veterans and their families with mental health questions at WBIR.com.